What if I told you some people can control your emotions without touching you? They can make you feel guilty, confused, angry, or even emotionally dependent, all with just a few words. And the worst part? Most of the time, you don't even realize it's happening. Toxic people know exactly how to manipulate emotions to stay in control. They twist conversations, play mind games, and slowly drain your mental peace. In today's video, we'll uncover the hidden psychological tactics toxic people use to control your emotions, and how you can protect yourself before it's too late. Human emotions are powerful. They affect your decisions, your confidence, your relationships, and even your future. But toxic people see emotions differently. To them, emotions are tools. They use fear, guilt, attention, silence, and manipulation to gain power over others. And many victims don't realize they're being emotionally controlled until they feel exhausted, anxious, and mentally trapped. Today, we're breaking down the most common emotional control tactics toxic people use every single day. One of the oldest manipulation tricks is guilt. Toxic people make you feel bad for saying no. They say things like, "After everything I've done for you, you've changed. I guess I don't matter to you anymore." Instead of respecting your boundaries, they make you feel selfish for having them. Over time, you start sacrificing your own happiness just to avoid disappointing them. That's emotional control. Toxic people rarely admit their mistakes. Instead, they turn themselves into the victim. Even when they hurt you, they somehow make you apologize. They twist the story until you start questioning your own feelings. This tactic creates emotional confusion. You stop focusing on what they did wrong and start feeling guilty for reacting to it. That's exactly what they want. Gaslighting is one of the most dangerous emotional manipulation tactics. It happens when someone makes you doubt your own memory, emotions, or reality. They say things like, "That never happened. You're overreacting. You're imagining things." At first, it seems small, but slowly you begin questioning yourself constantly. You stop trusting your instincts. And once that happens, the toxic person gains emotional power over you. Healthy people communicate. Toxic people punish with silence. They suddenly ignore your texts, avoid eye contact, or act cold for no reason. Why? Because silence creates anxiety. You start wondering, did I do something wrong? Why are they acting like this? Soon, you become desperate to fix the situation, even if you weren't the problem. That's emotional manipulation through emotional withdrawal. Toxic people often make you emotionally dependent on them. At first, they give excessive attention, validation, and affection. This is sometimes called love bombing. They make you feel special, important, needed. But later, they slowly take that affection away. Now you chase their approval just to feel valued again. And without realizing it, your emotional state becomes controlled by them. Fear is a powerful emotional weapon. Toxic people may threaten to leave you, embarrass you, expose secrets, or ruin relationships. Even subtle threats can create emotional pressure. You begin avoiding conflict because you fear their reaction. And once fear controls your behavior, they control your emotions. Toxic relationships often feel like emotional roller coasters. One day they're sweet and caring. The next day they're cold and distant. This unpredictability keeps you emotionally attached. Your brain becomes addicted to the good moments. You keep hoping things will improve again. But that cycle of emotional highs and lows is what keeps many people trapped. Another dangerous tactic is isolation. Toxic people slowly pull you away from friends, family, and support systems. They may say, "They don't really care about you. They're a bad influence. You only need me." The more isolated you become, the easier it is for them to control your emotions without outside perspectives. Toxic people pay close attention to your weaknesses, not to help you, but to use them later. If you're insecure about your appearance, intelligence, or past mistakes, they may secretly use those insecurities during arguments. They know emotional pain weakens confidence, and low confidence makes manipulation easier. Toxic people often act as if their happiness depends entirely on you. If they're upset, they blame you. If they're angry, somehow it's your fault. This creates emotional pressure. You start carrying responsibilities that were never yours, and eventually, you feel emotionally exhausted trying to keep them happy. Not all toxic behavior looks aggressive. Sometimes it looks kind. They may help you, compliment you, or support you, but only when it benefits them. Their kindness often comes with hidden expectations, and if you don't give them what they want later, they remind you of everything they did for you. That's not genuine care. Have you ever talked to someone and felt mentally exhausted afterward? That's emotional draining. Toxic people constantly bring negativity, drama, complaints, or conflict into conversations. Over time, your mind becomes emotionally tired, and emotionally exhausted people are easier to manipulate and control. Many people think, "I'm too smart to be manipulated." But emotional manipulation isn't about intelligence. It's about emotions. Even smart, confident people can be controlled when emotions like love, guilt, fear, or loneliness are involved. Toxic manipulation works slowly. That's why many victims don't notice it until the damage becomes deep. Long-term emotional manipulation can seriously affect mental health. It can lead to anxiety, overthinking, low self-esteem, emotional dependence, and even depression. Victims often lose confidence in their own decisions. Some begin apologizing constantly, even when they did nothing wrong. That's the hidden damage toxic people leave behind. Here's one of the biggest warning signs. You no longer feel emotionally free around them. You constantly overthink your words, fear upsetting them, or feel emotionally exhausted after interactions. Healthy relationships bring peace. Toxic relationships create emotional tension and confusion. Your emotions should never feel like a prison. The first step is awareness. Once you recognize manipulation tactics, they lose power. Set boundaries, trust your instincts, stop apologizing for your feelings, and most importantly, don't let guilt force you into unhealthy situations. Toxic people survive on emotional reactions. The less control they have over your emotions, the weaker their influence becomes. Remember this: real love does not manipulate. Real friendship does not control. Real care does not destroy your peace. Anyone who constantly makes you feel guilty, anxious, confused, or emotionally trapped is not protecting your mental health. They are controlling it, and protecting your peace is not selfish. It's necessary. So, have you ever experienced emotional manipulation from someone toxic? What was the biggest warning sign for you? Comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more psychology and human behavior content. Because understanding the mind can protect you from the people who try to control it.